So we move to the Cratchit house, and it's quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were as still as statues in one corner and sat looking up at Peter. This is the brother, the older brother, who had a book before him. The mother and her daughters were engaged in sewing, but surely they were very quiet. And he took a child and set him in the midst of them. That's all we get. It's one line from, well, it could be actually any of the synoptic gospels. For example, it could be Mark 9:36, one little fragment of a biblical verse, where it's Christ who takes a child and puts him in the middle of them, of his apostles. Well, on the one hand, that makes an intuitive sense in this novel. This is the house where Tiny Tim lived, and he, as we will shortly find, is dead. There's a kind of melodramatic pathos about referencing Christ putting him there amidst them. That all makes sense. But listen to the way that it continues. Where had Scrooge heard those words? We're hearing his very thoughts all of a sudden, right? He had not dreamed them. The boy must have read them out as he and the Spirit crossed the threshold. Why did he not go on? So Scrooge actually has this desire to hear the rest of the passage. And that cues us, readers, also to think about the rest of the passage. Now, it may be that you hear this and don't actually know what the rest of the passage is. But in the Victorian period, there's a lot greater biblical literacy than what we have today. Most of them, I would guess, would be able to fill in something for the next part of this verse. I'll do that for you in case you can't. So the line that Peter read was, he took a child and set him in the midst of them. Stop. Scrooge wondering, what is the next thing? The next thing is this: whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name receiveth me. That's the next thing that Christ says. And why is that important? I would suggest first, we're meant to supply this ourselves, just as I just did, in the silence of our own hearts or minds. And with it, to see that when a child is placed into the midst, it's actually God himself coming in amongst you. In the middle of this book, this verse means so much because this whole novel has been a succession of children, of poor ones, of little things even, right? That are smaller than people, like calves or dead bodies. It's, apples and onions and all these things. But it's a succession of little ones coming to Scrooge. Also coming to us, by the way. And each of those, as we see in this pivotal moment, is actually a site of divine encounter. That's the secret, and the secret energy, the secret mysterious power and presence at the heart of this whole little novella. The divine entering time. This is, after all, the mystery of Christmas. This is what the incarnation is.